From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm John Kennedy. Alberta wildfire officials say an evacuation of the town of Jasper is complete after residents and visitors alike were ordered out. Parks Canada Incident Commander Katie Ellsworth says there's a little more good news as well.
In terms of infrastructure damage and critical infrastructure, at this time, no critical infrastructure has been damaged or impinged within Jasper National Park or the community of Jasper.
However, Ellsworth warns the situation is dynamic and nearby fires are displaying aggressive behavior, so things can change quickly. Evacuees that were originally heading to BC have now been turned around and have been told to go to Calgary, Edmonton, or Grand Prairie. First Nations leaders in Manitoba are outraged, saying they're disappointed with the federal government after it reduced funds for searching former residential schools. Previously, up to $3 million could be granted per year through the Residential Schools Missing Children Community Support Fund, but the government is now capping the funds at $500,000. The Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs says it sent a letter to Crown Indigenous Relations Minister Gary Anandasanguri asking for the previous funding to be reinstated. The Bank of Canada is set to announce its interest rate decision this morning, as economists widely expect a rate cut.
Forecasters say slowing inflation and a weak economy justify a second consecutive rate cut by the central bank. After a historic run-up, the central bank lowered its policy rate for the first time in June, bringing it down from 5% to 4.75%. Governor Tiff Macklem signaled at the time that if inflation continues to ease, it would be reasonable to expect more rate cuts. Nujura Melis, the Canadian Press, Ottawa.
Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will speak before Congress in hopes of bolstering U.S. support for continuing Israel's fight against the Hamas terror group and other adversaries. Reporter Matt Gutman has the details.
Is he going to be talking to a current President Biden, a possible future President Harris, or a future President Donald Trump, with whom he's had close ties but have falling out in recent years? Also, Israeli defense officials are very eager for him to secure the release of those 2,000-pound bombs that the U.S. has been holding up because they were concerned that Israel would use them on civilian populations in Gaza.
Netanyahu is assured a warm welcome from Republican lawmakers who arranged for his appearance in the House chamber, but many Democrats plan to boycott his appearance over how the Israel-Hamas war has been conducted. Police in Germany say they've removed climate activists from a runway in the Cologne-Bonn airport in western parts of the country. The group, known as the Last Generation, had members glue themselves to the ground and force officials to suspend flights for a few hours. The group is demanding the German government negotiate and sign an international agreement on a global exit from the use of oil, gas, and coal by 2030. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, Brandon Lowe hit a 2-run home run, and the Tampa Bay Rays won for the 4th time in 5 games, beating out the Toronto Blue Jays 4-2. Toronto's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hit his 17th home run, but Toronto lost for the 5th time in 7 games. Blue Jays starter Jose Barrios tied a career high with 6 walks. Los Angeles Angels star Mike Trout lasted just 2 innings of his first rehab start in the minors due to soreness in his surgically repaired left knee. The 3-time MVP struck out his only at-bat for AAA Salt Lake during his first rehab appearance since tearing his meniscus in his left knee in late April. The Angels say he's day-to-day. Tavio Ceccarelli scored in the 86th minute to lift Canada over the Dominican Republic 1-0 in the CONCACAF Men's Under-20 Soccer Championship. The U20 Canadian men wrap up group play against El Salvador with a chance to reach the knockout stage. From the Canadian Press, I'm John Kennedy.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.